Welcome to what will be a brief description of my railroad layout that you can see here. It's an HO scale layout measuring approximately 6.7 by 3.7 metres, which in the old scale 22 feet by about 12 feet. It's a loop-to-loop style layout, so that is there's some hidden staging loops on both the lower and upper levels, as you can see here. Trains originate from either of these two groups of loops, and they'll traverse a single track main line. They'll head down through the town of Maywood and then to the loops at the other end of the layout. The layout depicts a fictitious Union Pacific branch line running north out of Phoenix, serving the towns of Prescott, Maywood, Williams, and also on to Henderson and Las Vegas. The model town of Maywood is also a fictitious location. It's a small rural town between Prescott and Williams in Arizona. There are 5 industries in the town that receive regular rail traffic, as well as a small diesel fuel facility in the locomotive depot that requires regular tanker deliveries. To the south of Maywood, there's a small rural timber milling industry that also receives regular rail traffic. Now, the upper staging loops represent north of Maywood and represent the towns of Williams in Arizona, as well as Henderson and Las Vegas in Nevada. And the lower staging loops, they represent south of Maywood and represent towns of Phoenix and Tucson in Arizona, as well as Fort Worth in Texas. Typical train lengths that run across the branch line are up to 10 cars in length. Trackwork on the layout is all Pico Code 100 nickel silver laid on foam underlay, and the mainline track is ballasted with Woodland Scenics grey ballast, and the locomotive depot and the timber mill have had the track buried in a very fine bricklayer sand, and in a couple of areas where we've got concrete paved areas, that concreting has been done with either Woodland Scenics Smooth It or Plaster of Paris. So minimum track radius in the visible sections of the layout is 26 inches, and that is in this curve here that leads into the southern end of Maywood. And in the staging loops and in the helix, the minimum radius drops to 22 inches. All turnouts are Pico Insulfrog. The visible mainline turnouts are all what they call the large radius type, which are a 5-foot radius, while some of the yard turnouts and some of the staging loop turnouts are the medium radius or 3-foot radius. All the turnouts are controlled by the Pico solenoids, which are activated by Digitrack's DS52 stationary decoders, and the solenoids can be activated by either of the Digitrack's controllers or via a laptop computer, which is running the JMRI Panel Pro software and connected to the layout with a Digitrack's P3 Extra Loco Net interface. Every section of track has a power feed to it to eliminate reliance on fish plates to conduct power, and the main line has been divided into electrical blocks to allow train detection using Digitrack's BD4 occupancy detectors. Overall layout control is via a Digitrack Zephyr, and we also have an additional Digitrack's DT402 controller, and we're running an 8 amp DB200 booster and 2 PM42 power district management modules. The signals on the layout are all fully operational, and they're controlled by an Arduino Mega 2560 microcontroller board. The board receives inputs from the Digitrack's BD4 occupancy detectors, as well as from accessory switches that are fitted to all of the Pico turnout solenoids on all the mainline turnouts. The program written for the microcontroller then sets the signal aspects based on the inputs received. Rolling stock is predominantly Athearn Genesis freight cars, with a few Atlas and Bachmann models mixed in as well. And the locomotive fleet consists of 2 Kato SD38s Both of these have lock sound decoders fitted. Also have a Union Pacific GP15 and Southern Pacific GP38, both of which are Athearn Genesis models, and they're fitted with Tsunami decoders. The remaining 6 locomotives are all Atlas Gold series, and they include a couple of Union Pacific -8-40Cs. We have a Burlington Northern SD24, Union Pacific SD24. We also have a Union Pacific SDP35 and Springfield Terminal SD26, which I'll drag you around the back here. They're currently sitting down here on the lower loops, waiting. All of the Atlas locomotives were originally fitted with QSI decoders, but I've now converted them to Tsunamis due to the much superior motor control that you can achieve with the Tsunamis, and better sound quality too. But as far as the locomotives themselves are concerned, Atlas are definitely my brand of choice. They're a brilliant running mechanism that they have in them. Well, that's basically a quick rundown of the layout. In the next video, I'll try and explain the operating method I use to run the layout, which is based around a computer program that I developed using Visual Basic, which directs the movement of the freight cars around the layout, as well as helping schedule locomotive repairs and refueling. So thank you for watching. I hope you've enjoyed this brief visit, and I'll post some more for you soon. Bye for now.